Next up, we have Lightspeed by MDK and Sterezzo, featured in Geometry Dash and Just Shapes and Beats is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a Layman-Friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever telling you news, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server, the gaming channel, how to request songs if you're not on live stream, members getting early access to the content. I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things at the end of this video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitarded, so please keep that in mind. Also, reminder, we're still celebrating 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you so much for 11,000 already. We're celebrating 10 two ways. Number one, I'm giving away 10 copies of Vintage Story. And number two, we're starting to actually play some of the games we've covered on this channel. We played Just Shapes and Beats. We've been playing through Limbus Company. More details on that on the whole spiel at the end of this video, so stick around for that. Otherwise, let's do this. Lightspeed. Let's go. Okay, so we start with like this very nice build-up, sudden build-up with the synths. Then we have three main components. We have our a little drum, chiptune drum. We have a bass giving us a bass line. The chiptune drum is giving us an initial beat, and then we have the main melody up there with a melodic synth a little bit higher, giving us our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. And I think it was sequenced. Let me hear it again. Let me hear this. A little bit of sequencing, yes. Okay, oh, let me hear it. Bring everything in. So yes, we have a little bit of variation with some sequencing. Sequencing being a way that you can develop your material in which you repeat a melodic idea from a different starting point. I think one of the most famous sequences right now, the most famous sequence is Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, right? This is the motif, sequenced. That is basically sequencing. Right now, we are adding a couple of variations over here. For example, the motif for the movie Up, the film montage for it, the motif of it, it has a partial sequence, because you can have partial sequences where you leave some of the notes the same way, and then you have the rest. For example, in Up, the motif, if it was fully sequenced, it would be like this. Instead, what do? We do a partial sequence. We keep this A in the same place, and then we sequence the rest. Then we do the rest. So yeah, we're having that kind of thing going on over here. Of course, now we bring the whole ensemble in. We have the full drums, we have the full bass, we have the full melody. Let's see where this goes. A little bit of harmonization right there to end on that cadence, right? So cadence, of course, when you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You are building tension, or you're resolving that tension. That point in between, we usually call the cadence. Cadence basically means building expectation and meeting that expectation. So we're doing that, and usually this is something you do in the chords, but basically it's, as I said, creating an expectation. If I were to play the scale of C major, I have now created a cadence that, if the longer I hold, the longer the cadence does, but now the ear is begging to go back to C. And this is something you can also do in your chords, right? You can go from C to G, now begging to go back to C. So yeah, we're having some cadence over here, and then right before that cadence, we ended up doing a little bit of harmonization. Now, harmonization, the full term for this could be counterpoint parallel motion in thirds. So let me I didn't play the level. Yeah, I didn't play the level. We haven't played all the levels in JSAB because some of them required some achievements that I just didn't want to put the time into. Anyway, so Let me break this down, right? So counterpoint being the art of melodies, how they are, how they develop, usually in the context of two or more at the same time. That means you're having two melodies happening at the same time. Sometimes they're independent, sometimes they're codependent, depending on the whole thing. Counterpoint is then measured in motion. There's two overarching types. You have single melody, and you have what I'm going to call melody, and what I'm going to call multi-melody. Now, single melody, multi-melody, directions you can have upwards or downwards. That is kind of where you can upwards, downwards, forwards, right? When it comes to single melody, then you can have what are called intervals. We base it on intervals. Interval is the distance between two notes. So let's say, for example, C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Let's do 2 octaves, right? So the key of C major, you can just start counting regular numbers from C and you just go upwards. So C number 1, D2, E3, F4, G5, A6, B7, C number 8. This is where the term octave comes from. An octave is just the same note repeated up or down in the register. Then from there, if we keep counting from the initial C, we could go D number 9, E number 10, F11, G12, A13, B14, C15. A 15th is 2 octaves above, and then this is usually where notation just ends. After that, you just keep calling it octaves above, octaves below. So a second away from C, upwards would be D, and then you can count this going downwards as well. So a second down from C would be B. A third up from C would be E, because you just count C1, D2, E3. That's how this works. So from this, you can have the different places, the different distances that your melodies can go. So the distance you can cover, that you can do your motion in your melody can be upwards or downwards, stepwise motion, leapwise motion, repetition, and silence. Now, repetition and silence, this is either forwards or stopping. Then we have stepwise motion, which is you go upwards to a second, like you do from C to the note that is immediately after that. So either up to D or down to B immediately next to C. That is stepwise motion. Leapwise motion is anything greater than that. So C leaping up to E, leaping down to A, leaping up to the B above that, leaping down to the D above that, or leaping up to the 9th above that. Anything as long as it's greater than a single step. So we take that, and this is how you build your melodies, however you make them, and from there you get multi-melody motion. The type of motion we're talking about is parallel motion. Parallel motion, it means that both melodies are doing the same thing from a different starting point. And the different starting point is going to be the interval. So if we have a melody in octaves, then we can have the different ones for harmonization, which is going to be thirds or sixths. Which means, same deal as before, C, D, E, that's a third. So if we do a melody in thirds, then we have that. Then we can do sixths, right? So we can go down to A, or we can just do the other way around, C to C up here, and we bring E down here, that's a sixth. And that's usually what we know as harmonization, where we just have parallel motion in thirds or sixths. So I'm not going to answer that, Malik. Let's see where this goes. Continuing. Harmonized beautifully. That high point, nice. All right, I guess it's a build-up. Yeah, we're building up for a drop. Okay, quick build up over here. Rhythmic and... quick run. Okay, so we have a quick run up and down. Runs in music. A run is when you do something quickly, right? When you play a scale or an arpeggio really quickly, that is a run. We have this up and down going chiptune. And then, let's see. It's a yes. I don't want to answer that. Oh, we dropped the beat, and our dropping of the beat is composed of a call and response. We have our usual whoop whoop bass that you get from dubstep and that kind of stuff. That is doing the call. Call and response being a musical conversation. You have one part doing something, a call, and then another part doing something else in response. Call and response, musical conversation. call and response. There you go. So right now, what are we doing? We're having the whoop whoop bass doing the call, and then we're having the melodies doing the response, still developing that motif. Really cool. Let's see where this goes. Again. Extending that whoop whoop bass a little bit more. There's the response. And as you can hear, the call and response doesn't have to be proportional. Like, you can have a call be longer than the response. You can have the response be longer than the call by orders of magnitude if you want, as long as you still get that sense of back and forth. So yeah, let's see where this goes. This is really good. Nice. Again, continuing, adding a little bit more to that bass. Nice. Experimenting with rhythm, basically. Really cool there. And right here before we started this next loop, we ended up doing a variation of call and response, which is called a canonic imitation. Canonic imitation is a call and response where both the call and the response are the same melody. Or the same thing. Basically, you're doing some imitation call and response. That is canonic imitation. As it happened over here right before this drop, we had the melody basically repeated once by one instrument, once by another instrument in response. Really cool. Continuing the drop. Let's see where this goes. Really cool, messing around with rhythm. And off the ramp we go. Off the ramp being a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a particular type of transition that makes your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land, kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do this? Remove the drums. Maybe the bass as well. As it has happened over here, we switch over to a piano. This can be as short as a couple of beats. It can be as long as an entire section. So far, so good. Let's see where this goes. Oh, there we go. Bringing with a chiptune. Immediately starting a build-up, it seems. Continuing straight into another drop. Now, this is something that would usually be a risk when you have too many drops at the same time, because usually when it comes to EDM and this kind of music, your drop is going to be something completely unrelated, because when you're making music, you want to keep a careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much of the same thing, too much repetition, you risk boring the listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. There is, however, one universal exception, no matter the style or genre, which is solos. You bring in a solo, and as long as it sounds cool enough and it fits enough, you can get away with almost anything. Then electronic music has one additional exception, which is dropping the beat. You drop the beat, and it doesn't matter if the material is related or not, as long as it sounds cool enough and it fits enough, you can get away with almost anything. And usually composers and artists and DJs will take this to basically just bring completely experimental material that has nothing to do with the material that you already have. But that then starts leaning into the whole too much new material. And too much new material can either overwhelm the listener, or it can also get old pretty quickly, because then you don't know what is happening. And that brings you full circle to overwhelming into boring. However, right here, what are we doing to mitigate this in this piece? We are still using the melody. We are still developing the melody while during the drop. And that alone is giving us more than enough to keep that motion going, keep that balance going. We are introducing new material in the shape of the drop. We are still developing that familiar material, giving us that familiarity still, and it is achieving a very good balance, particularly strengthening the case for the drops. Really good. Let's see where this goes. Oi. Oh dear. Lovely there in Slayer. Welcome to Layman. How you doing? Okay, so we bring a new synth over here, and it sounds like it's got the like a vocoder, I think it's called. It's the one pedal that you use where you put a tube in your mouth, and then you vocalize through it. I think it's called a vocoder, yeah. A vocoder. Is it a vocoder? No, it's not a vocoder. I always forget what the name of it is. I always forget what the name of this one is because it's not a vocoder. It's the tube. It's the tube that you basically, the sound comes through it, and then as you open your mouth, it, like the way that you verbalize, it changes the sound, and it's basically giving it this kind of stuff. Let's see where it goes. So yeah, we'll check Steam afterwards. Beautiful off the ramp there. Continuing this. So now we bring back that beautiful harmonized melody. We have a middle ground with another set of synths, a little bit syncopated. So syncopation being when you play against the established rhythm or against the established metronome or drum beat. In this case, what are we having? Ba 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 ba. So the drum hits ba 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 ba. With these synths giving us a little bit of extra inertia, a little bit of extra motion. Very cool. Let's see where this goes. And now we're playing the melodies as if they were more of a solo rather than a preset melody, giving us that other exception of music, of solos. In this case, we're still developing that motif, we're still using that, but we're giving it a little bit more leeway, making it sound a little bit more like a solo, getting the best of both worlds. Let's see where this goes. Thank you, David. Thank you. All right, another build-up. So off the ramp we go. We have basses now. We slow everything down, and it's basically just pure texture. Okay, so now we switch things around completely. We're focusing mainly on the bass and that very cool texture that we have going. And it seems we're building up for one last drop. Let's just see where it goes. Yeah, we're building up, and we use a little bit of rhythmic displacement for this. So rhythmic displacement, as the name suggests, is when you displace something in the rhythm. You're either pushing something down so that it sounds earlier, or you're rushing something up so that it sounds earlier. So in this case, rhythmic displacement, we are using it to delay the cadence. So again, when you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You're building tension, you're resolving that tension, that point in the middle, we call the cadence. However, when you use rhythmic displacement for the cadence, what you're doing is that you're pushing back this bit over here, and what that does for that resolution is it gives a little bit of extra phantom tension that then makes your resolution that much more pronounced. So we are having this happening, and we use a vocal sample as a way of rhythmic displacement, as a substitute rather than just pure silence. Let's see where this goes. Yes, indeed, that's it. Nice. And there's the melody. I was going to say, we're focusing more on the things. Let's see. Oh, see, we're not taking more requests tonight. Let's see. And we have one more build-up happening in the back. And one more drop. More rhythmic variations. That little run we had before, doing those runs back and forth. Melody is nice. Using a little bit of silence there with melodies. How are you gonna end this? All right. Okay, so we go back to the original. We go back to the original motif. How are you gonna end this though? And we ended with a half cadence. So, as I mentioned, build up, resolution, that is cadence, but we have a particular type that is called a half cadence. Half cadence is when you build the tension and you intentionally do not resolve it in that section or the part or the piece. So what that does is that it gives you a little bit of extra inertia. It gives you that sense of expectation so that you can then resolve it in the next piece, in the next section, or that you can loop it back to the beginning. I've done this as well. Self-promotion time, warning, this is orchestral melodic death metal, very intense music, you have been warned, right? But if you listen to my song Second Conquest, this song by me, it has a massive build-up at the end of the song. The drums are going insane, the orchestra is going insane, everything is just going absolutely insane, builds up, and it doesn't resolve. Half cadence. But if you immediately after listen to my song As We March, also by me, it resolves there. Tension, cadence, builds in Second Conquest, resolved in As We March. And right now, we've done something similar over here with that half cadence at the ending. And with that, there you have it, Lightspeed by MDK and Sterezzo, featured in both Geometry Dash and Just Shapes and Beats is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here, musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever button you use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, at the time of recording, we're still celebrating 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're already at 11 even. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I do not take this for granted. I am grateful every single day for this. We're celebrating two ways. Number one, I am giving away 10 copies of Vintage Story. Vintage Story! It used to be a Minecraft mod, now it's its own standalone game. I prefer it, I love it, which is why I'm giving away 10 copies of this game. The giveaways are happening on the Discord on the second half of February 2026. For those of you watching live, the first round is tomorrow on the 21st, and the second round is going to be on the 28th. So linked in the description, join the Discord server and get your chance at this. That's way number one, and way number two is now with 10,000 subscribers. Every 5,000 subscribers that we get, up until 100,000, we're going to start actually playing some of the games that we've covered on this channel. The first ones have been Just Shapes and Beats and Limbus Company. We did the story of Just Shapes and Beats, and now we've been playing through Limbus Company. We play them during the after shows of the live stream, so you can catch them live, or if you can't, we have the VODs going on the gaming channel. More on that in a moment. So make sure that you join the Discord server. That's where everything gets announced first, whether it's the streams going live, the videos going up in the channels, updates, projects, the giveaways, everything gets announced there first. Of course, that's where we also have the community. We hang out, we chat, we steal memes from other people's servers, claim them as our own, and where I host the Vintage Story community server. Vintage Story! I love the game so much I built a PC just to host the server for it, so linked in the description. Join the Discord server today, become a member of our community. Also, share these videos with everybody that you know. Use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that, linked in the description. Help join, help grow the channel. Musicians, artists, or otherwise on YouTube or elsewhere, this is an open invitation. If you want any of my musical skills for any of your projects, reach out, let me know, let's work together, let's collaborate, let's make stuff, right? And if you're in the audience and you know somebody that you would like me to collaborate with, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass anyone, please do not spam anyone, be cool about things, don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs, so become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting it in 3.5 seconds, I'll be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions on what to do. If you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time, at least at this time. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in for whichever platform you prefer. Again, 6 p.m. Central Europe. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. So, both linked down below. So if you live in Recoleta and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch and it's going to show in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. Recorded live during the main channel's after show. And then the recordings go here. This is where the VODs for Just Shapes and Beats, Limbus Company, and every other game we play go to. So, linked in the description, or just search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd. Just up the J for a G, and you got it. And, yeah, there you have it. Lightspeed, MDK, Sterezzo, Geometry Dash, Just Shapes and Beats. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Real good stuff. But, yeah, let's move on.